You don't lack motivation. You lack control over your mornings. The way you start your day is the way you train your mind to win or lose. 1 week, that's all it took to feel dangerous again. Not lucky, not inspired, disciplined. Most people wake up already defeated, scrolling, reacting, negotiating with weakness. I was there. Tired mind, heavy body, big dreams, zero momentum. Then I made one decision: own the first hour or stay average forever. These habits aren't cute. They're uncomfortable, boring, and brutally effective. They don't rely on motivation. They build dominance through action. Within 7 days, my focus sharpened, my energy surged, and my confidence stopped asking for permission. This isn't about productivity hacks. This is about identity. If you fix your mornings, you don't just change your day. You change who you're allowed to become. You don't wake up tired. You wake up defeated by a decision you've been making every single morning. That moment, when the alarm goes off, that moment is not small. That moment is a courtroom, and your future is on trial. Because right there, before the sun shows up, before the world asks anything from you, a voice shows up. And it doesn't yell, it whispers, 5 more minutes. You deserve rest. Tomorrow will be better. That voice isn't your friend. That voice is your excuse. And it's early because it knows if it gets to you first, it wins the whole day. See, waking up before your excuses due isn't about the clock. It's about authority. It's about who's in charge when nobody's watching, when there's no applause, when there's no motivation playlist playing in the background. Just you and a choice. Most people don't lose in life because they're incapable. They lose because they negotiate with weakness first thing in the morning. They hit snooze and they don't realize what they just told their mind. I don't mean what I say. I'll show up later. I can be trusted sometimes. And the mind listens. Oh, it listens. Every time you choose comfort over command, your mind learns to doubt you. Every time you delay discipline, your confidence leaks. And after years of that, you're not tired. You're trained to quit quietly. But something changes when you wake up before your excuses. When you rise while your body is still heavy. When your eyes burn. When your bed is warm and your dreams are loud. Something spiritual happens. You send a message to yourself that can't be unlearned. I don't need to feel ready to move. I move because I said I would. And that's power. Let me tell you something hard. Your excuses are early because your destiny is urgent. The reason discipline feels painful in the morning is because that's when it matters most. Anybody can be motivated at noon. Anybody can be focused when things are going well. But the morning exposes truth. The morning asks, who are you really? You say you want more, but do you wake up like you believe it? You say you're tired of struggling, but do you rise like struggle is done with you? Because waking up early isn't about productivity. It's about identity. When you wake up before your excuses, you're not just starting your day. You're reclaiming your name. You're saying, I'm not the person who waits for conditions to be perfect. I'm not the person who needs permission from comfort. I am the person who moves first. And here's the part nobody tells you. The first few days, it feels pointless. You don't feel unstoppable. You feel irritated. You don't feel powerful. You feel alone. Good. That's the withdrawal. That's your old self fighting for survival. Because discipline threatens the version of you that survived by avoiding pain, and that version doesn't want to die. But if you stay with it, if you keep waking up before your excuses, something shifts. Your posture changes, your voice changes, your patience changes. You stop asking life for permission and life starts responding differently. Because confidence isn't built by hype. It's built by keeping promises to yourself when nobody else knows you made them, and every morning you win that battle. Even quietly, even imperfectly, you stack evidence. Evidence that you can be trusted. Evidence that you're not all talk. Evidence that when things get hard, you don't disappear. That's why this habit changes everything so fast. Not because you woke up early, but because you woke up on purpose. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off and that voice shows up, don't argue with it. Don't explain yourself to it. Just move. Feet on the floor, back straight, eyes forward, before the world ever touches you. It wants access to your mind. Not later, not slowly, immediately. The moment your eyes open, there is a battle for your attention. And most people lose it without throwing a single punch. They reach for the phone like it's oxygen. Notifications, headlines, opinions, other people's emergencies. And just like that, before they've even stood up, their spirit is scattered. Hear me clearly. What you look at first thing in the Morning decides who you become by nightfall. No phone, no noise, no weakness. That's not a productivity rule. That's a survival code, because your mind in those first moments is open, raw, unprotected. It hasn't armored up yet. It hasn't remembered your goals. It hasn't remembered your strength. And whatever you feed it first, fear, comparison, chaos, it will digest all day. Most people don't start their mornings. They get invaded. They wake up and immediately let the world tell them who they are, what they lack, and what they should be worried about. They haven't even spoken to themselves yet, but they've already heard from everyone else. And then they wonder why they feel anxious, why they feel unfocused, why their confidence feels thin. You cannot download peace from a screen. You cannot scroll your way into purpose, and you cannot let noise lead you and expect clarity to follow. See, strength is quiet in the beginning. Discipline whispers. Vision speaks low. But distraction screams. That's why you have to protect the first 30 minutes like your future lives there. Because it does. No phone means you get to meet yourself before the world does. No noise means your thoughts finally get room to stand up straight. No weakness means you don't hand your authority away while you're still half asleep. Let me say this the hard way. If you don't control the inputs, you will never control the outcome. You wonder why you react instead of lead, why you're busy but not building, why your days feel full but your life feels empty. It's because every morning you're letting your mind get hijacked. The phone doesn't just steal time, it steals identity. Comparison creeps in before confidence wakes up. Doubt shows up before discipline gets dressed. And suddenly, you're playing defense all day. But when you cut the noise, when you sit in silence, even if it's uncomfortable, you start hearing something you've been ignoring, your own voice. And that voice might remind you of promises you haven't kept. It might expose fears you've been avoiding. It might challenge you to rise higher than your habits. That's why people avoid silence. Silence tells the truth. But truth, handled early, becomes power later. When you don't touch your phone, you tell your mind, I am not available to distractions. I decide what gets access to me. I don't need validation before I stand. And here's the part nobody warns you about. The first few days feel empty. Quiet feels awkward. You will feel like something is missing. What's missing is the addiction. Your brain has been trained to need stimulation before direction. So when you remove the noise, it panics. Stay there, because that discomfort is clarity loading. In that quiet, you start thinking again. Deep thinking, dangerous thinking, purposeful thinking. You start remembering who you were before you started reacting to everything. Before you let algorithms shape your attention. Before you confuse being informed with being focused. And slowly, subtly, your mornings gain weight. Your thoughts stop racing. Your decisions become firmer. Your presence becomes heavier. People feel it. Because someone who controls their mind in the morning doesn't get pushed around by the afternoon. This habit alone can change your life in a week. Not because it makes you calm, but because it makes you clear. Clear about what matters. Clear about what doesn't. Clear about who you are becoming. So tomorrow morning, don't reach for the phone like it owes you something. Sit up. Breathe. Be still. Let the world wait. Your body is not tired, it's undisciplined. And every morning it's asking one question. Who's in charge today? Because before the world ever tests your character, your body tests your authority. That's why moving your body first matters. Not later. Not when you feel like it. First. When you wake up stiff, sore, heavy, unmotivated, that's not a problem. That's an invitation. An invitation to prove something to yourself before anybody else has access to you. See, most people let their body lead. If I feel good, I'll go. If I have energy, I'll try. If it's comfortable, I'll commit. And their body learns a dangerous lesson. You're in control. But when you move your body before the world moves you, when you stretch when you don't want to, when you sweat when it's inconvenient, when you choose discomfort on purpose, you flip the hierarchy. You tell your body, I don't ask you for permission, I tell you what to do, and you follow. That's not fitness. That's dominance. Because a body under command creates a mind that doesn't panic under pressure. Let me tell you something real. Confidence is not built in front of mirrors. It's built in moments where quitting would have been easier, and you didn't. That cold shower, that early workout, that quiet push when no one is clapping, those moments speak to your spirit. And they say, you're stronger than you thought. Most people are mentally weak, not because life is hard, but because he never practiced being uncomfortable on purpose. So when pressure hits, when deadlines stack, when emotions rise, they fold. But when you move your body early, when you introduce stress before stress introduces itself, you train your nervous system to stay calm in chaos. You teach yourself, I've been here before. Pain becomes familiar, resistance becomes normal, and fear loses its edge. That's why this habit changes you fast, because the body doesn't lie. You can fake confidence with words. You can fake vision with plans. But you can't fake discipline when your lungs are burning and your muscles are shaking. Movement exposes truth. And when you move first thing in the morning, you stack wins before the world hands you problems. Your heart rate rises, and so does your courage. Your blood flows, and so does your belief. You don't just feel energized, you feel capable. And capability is dangerous. Here's the deeper truth. Your body remembers everything your mind tries to forget. Every time you quit early, it remembers. Every time you push through, it remembers. So when you move your body daily, intentionally, early, you're rewriting that memory. You're telling your nervous system, we don't run from difficulty. We breathe through it. We stand in it. We finish. And that mindset leaks into everything. You stop avoiding hard conversations. You stop procrastinating important work. You stop shrinking when life demands more, because you already practiced showing up when it was uncomfortable. Now listen, this isn't about becoming an athlete. It's about becoming unshakable. You don't need a gym. You don't need perfect form. You don't need motivation. You need a decision. A decision that says, every morning I remind my body who I am. Even 5 minutes counts. Even slow movement counts. Even awkward effort counts. Because consistency beats intensity every time. And after a few days, something shifts. Your posture changes, your walk changes, your energy changes. People can feel it before you say a word, because someone who commands their body doesn't beg life for confidence. They carry it. So tomorrow morning, when your body feels heavy, when it tries to negotiate, when it asks for comfort, don't argue. Move, stretch, breathe, sweat. Let discomfort introduce you to your strength, because world is going to push you eventually. The question is, will you meet that pressure untrained, or will you already know how to stand firm because you practice first thing in the morning? Move your body before the world moves you, not for fitness, not for aesthetics,